You know, we talk a lot on our air about stocks at record highs and record number of jobs added and jobless claims at the lowest level since 1969. But it's clearly not showing up, at least in our polling data. Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm not a pollster, but I do think that the American people have been through a tough couple of years and understandably are frustrated and anxious about the current situation. I also think that we are in a very different situation than we were a year ago, and there are lots of reasons to believe that we can continue making strong economic progress. So our focus is really on delivering tangible results, because I think at the end of the day, what the American people are focused on is less the rhetoric or the political talking points and fights, and instead what we can get done. So if you look at something very concrete, like the challenges of the supply chain earlier this fall, there was a lot of concern that packages wouldn't get delivered on time for the holiday season. We spent a lot of time working with the ports, with businesses, with labor, and otherwise trying to help unstick some of those bottlenecks, and have made a lot of progress on that front. That's the kind of practical focus that we're trying to bring here to solve problems that are connected to the practical challenges that people are facing in their lives, and certainly prices and costs are high up there.
Yeah. I wonder if you think it's a comment on just how powerful an inflationary mindset is. You mentioned supply chain. The market PMI data yesterday showed delivery delays lowest since May, backlogs lowest in 10 months. We got some encouraging prices paid data a few moments ago. How much is riding on this trend, this data trend continuing?
Well, I think we're in a very unique moment, and obviously the economy and the virus are inextricably linked. That has been true for some time, and it certainly has been what we have been saying for some time. So I think that it's hard to extrapolate on current sentiment in a very precise way. But I do think that there are reasons to believe that we are getting our way through some of these supply chain challenges. Obviously, the Omicron variant poses new risks, but if you look at the goods movement flow through the logistics supply chain, there are a lot of reasons to believe that as we come out of this holiday surge, we have been able to address some of those principal bottlenecks. And so certainly we're going to stay focused on it and not downplay or dismiss the risks that are on the horizon, but at the same time, a lot of reason to believe that we can work through these issues over the next couple of quarters and get ourselves back to more normal operating rhythm.
Well, Brian, given that, I'm just curious then, what are your expectations for inflation? It does seem to measure very prominently in the psyche of voters, and you've got the midterms coming up, only, 9-10 months from now. So, you know, how and what is inflation going to look like, let's call it, by next fall?
Well, I think if we continue to take steps right now, what we can do is we continue to propel forward a strong economic recovery while reducing those price pressures. And I think if we can do that, we will see what most independent forecasters project, which is moderation in the price increases through the second half of next year. Look, we have some of the strongest economic growth underlying this economic recovery that we've seen in decades. We have the strongest labor market that we have seen in quite some time. And we have household incomes and household balance sheets that are in a historically strong position, even when taking into account price increases. So we have a unique opportunity, unique to the United States. Other industrialized countries are not in this position to address these problems from a position of relative economic strength. I think if we do that, and we do that over the next couple of quarters, we'll see that moderation that, again, most independent forecasters are projecting.